see crazy? I'll tell you. Now that's a real badge. I'm a real cop, and this is a real fucking gun.
Hey folks, Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. Welcome back to the channel. I was really happy this morning. Lethal Weapon, the special 4K edition box set, arrived through my letterbox Saturday morning, 2 days before its official release. So I couldn't help myself but stick it in the player and watch it. And here it is. Whilst it looks great on the surface, it's not all good, unfortunately. The packaging is, I think, great. You get this vinyl slipcover. There's the side, so we can see that there is a steelbook in there. But if you look, it's kind of badly glued down the side there and looks really tacky, especially where the when you're going to have that spine possibly on display if you want to. But, you know, there's the other side as well, which doesn't look quite as bad. So let me just slip this cover off. There it is there, and there's all the details on the back. We'll talk about the extras in a bit, but so far so good. Nice artwork, especially on that vinyl design there, apart from the glue. Here's the box. I've taken the BBFC stickers off. They just peeled off. It was easy. LW on the back there. Showed you the spine already and the reverse spine. So that is the steelbook itself. I mean, to be fair, I'd have much preferred the original artwork or something. That really doesn't do anything for me. I know it's a reference to a part of the movie, but it just looks a little naff. It just looks like not much effort has gone into this, really, when you consider some of the other steelbooks that Warner Brothers have done recently. In fact, I've got Inception here, which is a much better looking steelbook than the Lethal Weapon one is. It's so cheap looking, it really is. And then on the back, there's the sign that they leave in the house when Mr. Joshua comes in and finds that Danny Glover and his family aren't actually at home. I shall just show you inside. Now, you do get the director's cut here. You get the original theatrical cut and the director's cut, and you get a Blu-ray as well. The director's cut's quite interesting. I don't mind it, but I get why they took some of the decisions they did to take out some of the scenes for the theatrical cut. There's a scene at the start of the film where Mel Gibson's involved in a sniper shootout at a school, and he just walks in and takes the sniper out. It's quite a good scene. It's a very tense scene. But then it moves on to that kind of drug bust scene, whereas he kills like 4 drug dealers in one hit. And before he's even met Roger, he's already got this kind of body count of 5 or maybe even 6 people that he's killed beforehand. And it it does feel a little bit too much. So I understand why they took the sniper scene out. It is a good scene, but it's not quite as good as the drug bust scene. So I guess they agonized over which one to take out of the film. And the sniper scene lost, unfortunately. There's some other scenes where Roger's practicing his target practice on his own. And then there's this scene where Riggs is negotiating with a hooker.
Why, you like him younger?
Yeah, younger the better. How old are you?
16.
And it ends up that he wants her to come back to the house to watch Three Stooges, and he's willing to pay her $100 for it. But it's kind of a dark scene, and I get why that's not in the film. It doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't. We don't see it happen or anything like that. I guess it's just a kind of look inside his head as to where he's at the moment, that he just wants some company, you know. He wants some female company of some sort. Somebody to hang out with. But the 16-year-old thing is just kind of weird. But anyway, that aside, the movie is terrific. One of my favorites from the 1980s. One of my favorite action movies. One of my favorite buddy cop movies. I remember seeing this on Warner Home Video back in probably around about 1988, because it was released in the UK on September the 11th, 1987. It had a release in the US about 6 months before that on March the 6th. The budget was around about 15 million, and the domestic gross was 65.2 million, with an international gross of 55 million. So huge result at the box office, 120 million it took. So there was no doubt this was going to become a franchise, and it was a massive franchise and a series of movies that I really looked forward to being released each time that they came around. Critics loved the film. It's got an 80% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, and audiences did as well with 86%. So Everything about this film oozed cool at the time. Great director in Richard Donner, fresh off the back of Goonies and movies like Superman and The Omen, some really cool films that he directed in the late 70s, early 80s. Maybe not the Goonies. But also expertly written by Shane Black as well. A really sharp script, a really witty script, emotional at times, and full of action and chemistry, you know. Riggs and Murtaugh, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson had amazing chemistry back then, and so did Murtaugh's family as well. In fact, on one of the extras, Shane Black says that Danny Glover was actually only 38 years old when he was playing Murtaugh, which is kind of weird because Murtaugh's character is 50 and they had to keep dyeing his hair at the sides grey to make him look that bit older. Unfortunately, I don't have any grey hair, so I don't have that problem whatsoever. So it's understandable why there's no Lethal Weapon 5. There was talk about it a few years ago, and in one of the extras on this, Danny Glover is interviewed, and he looks really old. He's like an old man, and bless him for that, you know. He's 78 years old now, and so his character in the film would now be 90. So it just makes no sense whatsoever to make another Lethal Weapon movie. Anyway, let's see what else is in this. You get this package with it. See, that's the original style artwork that I really love there, and that would have been great on the front of the steelbook. It says here, the best pure action movie since Raiders of the Lost Ark. A high voltage thriller packs an undeniable wallop. Riveting, a pair of heroes I hope we'll be seeing again. So let's open it up and see what's inside. I think it's just going to be a lot of art cards. It looks like there's a poster here, so let's have a look at that. There we go. There we go. Now you're talking. Original artwork. And on the back, we have it looks like a Japanese poster. It does look like they've been kind of cut out and stuck on. So that's that. And then a bunch of art cards by the looks of things. There's Richard Donner directing Mel. Oh, and these are reversible. The flip side is Donner directing Murtaugh, or Danny Glover. Picture of the whole team there, the director and looks like the production crew. Donner directing again. Two of them when they square off after the suicide jump. And then the shooting range. It's the shot of Mel Gibson when he first is introduced to Murtaugh's family. And then a shot of him in the desert with the sniper rifle when the daughter's been exchanged. Danny Glover holding a picture of him and Atkins. Shame there's no picture of Atkins on any of these. I don't think there is anyway. Another one of Danny Glover in action. Mr. Joshua. And Mr. Joshua in action running up the street in LA. So that's it. Just a series of art cards, really. You're not really getting much. As far as I'm aware, there's a regular steelbook, but you're not really getting much more for your money with this special edition. So what else is on this? So theatrical and director's cut on 4K UHD and theatrical cut on Blu-ray. Steelbook, rigid slipcase and acetate O-ring. Double-sided theatrical poster, 3 times double-sided behind-the-scenes cards, 4 times character cards, and that's it. It's a DTS HD master audio and Dolby Atmos as well, which is a really fine track. I tested it out this morning, and there are some really meaty moments, particularly in the scene when they're at the school and they walk towards that building and it explodes in front of the kids. That there really tears your surrounds apart. It does. And then there's a lot of bullet ricochets in this film as well. It's really crisp, really clear. In fact, I was expecting this to be a good rival to Dirty Harry, the one that Warner's released a couple of weeks ago. Picture-wise, it's not quite as sharp and clean as Dirty Harry. There's a little bit more grain and a little bit more, I guess, less clarity in some of the darker scenes, particularly the opening where the girl jumps off the building. That particular scene was, because it's the first scene of the movie, I was a little bit disappointed when it first came on. However, the outdoor scenes do look terrific. They look really sharp. The HDR works well, particularly with lights around Christmas time, because this movie's set at Christmas. And yeah, overall, the 4K HDR transfer is very good indeed. Really good. Not quite Dirty Harry, but it's up there. It's giving it a run for its money. But I did prefer the Dirty Harry. I think that will end up being my favorite 4K transfer of the year, just because of the age that it is and the work that they've done on it to make it look so special. So it's disappointing that there's a lack of extra features on this. There's no commentary, which there is a Richard Donner commentary. And if you have the Blu-ray box set, this one here, hang on to it, because it has a lot of Lethal Weapon extras on it. I think there's actually there's a bonus disc with a ton of Lethal Weapon extras and more recently filmed stuff, probably in the last 10 years. But this just has kind of, I think they're 2 new featurettes. They're about 5 minutes each. One of them called A Legacy of Inspiration, Remembering Richard Donner. And also, I'm Too Old for This Shit, a chemistry that became iconic. Another 5-minute featurette. Now, they do have the likes of Lauren Schuler Donner on there, one of the associate producers, Shane Black, and Danny Glover. But I'm not quite sure why Mel Gibson isn't present on it. Maybe he wasn't interested, because he has done a lot of the Lethal Weapon extras in the past. He's done some great stuff on this Blu-ray edition here. But no, we only get the 2 featurettes. There's no commentary. As I said, there's a Richard Donner commentary on this. There's also the theatrical trailer, the Honeymoon Suite music video for that cheesy song on the end credits, which I absolutely love. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, if you've got this, hang on to it. If you really want to see it looking fantastic, then I can definitely recommend this. However, the Steelbook could have had better artwork on it, and they could have put some more extras on there. It's a shame, but picture and sound quality are fantastic, and it's a nice little thing to have on your shelf. Just a shame about that sealant down the edge there. That's it, folks. That's all I've got time for today. I'm about to do Return of the Living Dead, because I've got 2 or 3 Blu-rays and 4Ks that I want to showcase to you guys. So yeah, I'll be back soon. I'm going to do a live soon as well, but this studio is so hot that it's difficult to spend any length of time in here. I can record these 15-minute videos and then put the aircon on in between. But to sit here for an hour and a half and do a live session, it's like 90 degrees outside, and it just wouldn't work with the aircon on in here. So I shall speak to you soon, guys. Thanks very much for following. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video as well. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.